then Colin,
Okay, well, it's a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. I'm a lawyer, I'm a linguist, and the observations about terminology struck very hard into my mind. And, for example, the text which Monica has presented, one of the things which we're hoping in the ECI group is that you and everyone else will take the whole text, because there's a lot in it, and the whole function of this is actually to create a path. What the ECI group has been doing as a whole is to say, we are aware of all the problems, we know that there's lots of things happening, we know there's lots of theory, there's lots of energy, but we have to channel it. The name of the game, as I see it, and I'm a technician and worked years and years probably pushing through all these texts, is to get a product which can actually move things forward. And the ECI is trying to do that. And it'll do it because everyone talks about it, because we have it translated into all the languages, and everyone studies it and says, we like this, we don't like that. That doesn't matter, it's the awareness. It's the awareness game. And this is my game, this is a good text. This is a very, very, if I'd been one of the EU institutions, I would have not been unhappy with this product as a draft. So take a look at it. Now, my view is that environmental law is moving in certain directions. And I think that the human rights law is also moving in certain directions. And I think that these are converging. And I think that they're converging towards some sort of eco-law, ecology law, ecosystem law, which is an overall holistic approach, where we're seeing mankind, ourselves, as part of nature. Now, I thought, how can I give a short presentation? I took some questions which are taken from some linguistic theories. If you ask the questions what, why, who, when, where, how, and you can add which. Let's put these two maths in nature. People ask you, what's that? Why are you doing this? Let's give answers, simple answers. So, okay, what? Now, we've heard lots and lots of answers. Here are a few more. Rights of nature for me means shifting perspective from an external viewpoint to an internal viewpoint. And for me, it's a way of seeing and interacting with the world. Nature is a partner, it's a subject, a participant. We are putting ourselves inside, we're imagining it, but we're putting ourselves inside the mind of an orangutan, a gorilla, a mouse, or whatever, and we're thinking, what would I, as a mouse, need to be able to carry on my life? Now, it's a fantasy exercise, but it's better than doing nothing. And that's the thing, one moves in that direction. And being Scottish, we have mice very much in our culture, but as you may be aware. So that I would then say that all our laws and our behaviour need to be adapted to this concept of partnership. It's long-term, it ensures support and survival of all the partner beings, and it's this concept of partnership. So then, as you can hear, nature is not viewed as a commodity, not simply as an object for manipulation. Now, yes, we know we will actually be doing that. I mean, we have to live, we know we're going to kill animals to do it, we know we're going to do these things. Let's be quite realistic. What we're talking about is balances. We're trying to find a different balance, one which will allow us to hang around a bit longer than we're going to at the moment. Legal personality is part of this. Now, it's a difficult, abstract concept. We recognise that nature, rights flow from legal personality. Now, what does that entail? I cannot give a blanket answer because I know there are many specific situations, and my personal view is it has to be worked out in individual detailed contexts. And I also think that law is human. I mean, it's our minds, it's a product of our mind, it is human. We, of course, are part of nature. And for me, the duty in law lies on us humans to respect the balance. So we talk about rights, but the reality, what we're really talking about is duties on us. We've got to do certain things. We're doing it for our own self-interest, purely and simply. Why? Well, the facts. We've heard lots of facts. We've got lots of reports. We've had endless. We know what to expect. They're all quite clear. We're in imbalance and we're losing our support mechanisms. And that's not unlike. So we need new ideas. And there's lots of ideas, many of them not so new, many of them have been around for a very, very long time. But let's say they're new because we can then pick them up and take them forward. We need new approaches, new technology, new concept, new law. But the important thing is in the mind. We have to change our understanding, our awareness and our actions. And this, I think, is done in each culture, in each country, in ways which are adapted to the needs of those particular communities. So I'm not here saying such and such an approach is right or wrong, because everyone has to work out the best approach for themselves, in my view. But fundamentally, the name of the game is to make it easier to do the right thing, and more difficult to do the wrong thing, whatever that may be. Who does this apply to? Well, all of us. Citizens, companies, governments, states, international organizations, my pet hamster, all of us. When? Well, from now on, and we have to continue and do better. But, and this is the problem, we need guidance, and we do need advice on what is the best, what to do and what not to do. We need the science, we need information pamphlets, we need examples of best practice, and we need model laws for others to follow, and we need local laws to be enforced. Now, I would like to emphasize this examples of best practice and this example of model laws, because these can be prepared by technicians. And I know that there's the technical environment, and I know there's the political environment, and I know that some things are possible at the technical level, but there are obstacles at the political level. But we also know that we get on with the technical job, and when it comes to the political, we say, okay, that's a bit you, whoever you are, cannot accept, fine, we put it aside, we put it in a little box, but when someone else takes power in whatever your organization or company or state is, maybe it becomes possible, and then we've got it ready to slot it. So we have a role here for the United Nations, for the EU, for NGOs. There are many regional organizations around the world which also have a role. And of course, the schools, television, and so on. Where and how? Well, review and amend all existing laws and texts. We have many different legal orders. Here we're in the international, we have the EU supranational, we have national levels, and we have local. So take the national constitutions, as we've heard in Ecuador, and review them. Look at the codes, look at the individual laws, look at the international treaties, conventions, resolutions, look at the EU treaties, the secondary acts, and so on, and do other things. Take the concept of justice and think about it in philosophical terms. Does natural justice include nature, for example? The concept of justice as fairness. How far is nature entitled to fairness in the concept of justice? And so you also can take the whole judicial approach, and this is a very, very important area, one which I think is showing a lot of growth, reinterpreting, rethinking the judges, rethinking their approaches. And also one needs administration and action, and I think the emphasis on rewilding, restoration, nature in cities, which I know is happening in Paris, Shanghai, these things are already underway. Take all the branches of law and rethink about them in terms of the balance of the relationship. Substantive law, the concepts right of nature, procedural law, building nature into the legislative, the court and judicial procedures. And here I'd like to mention the amicus curiae procedure, which is now being discussed about in legal circles. That provides an opportunity for the nature view to be presented. Administrative law builds nature into administrative procedures, into the annual, local, national ecological reports, which are proposed in this text. Commercial law, and this is something I think could help a lot. If we have ecological reports attached to the financial reports, the same thing, then businesses are forced at least to think about some of the implications and to do it in juxtaposition with the money, and that I think will move towards helping awareness at higher levels, and the facts perhaps can start to come out. So, also ecological impact tracing. All the products and services, from raw material to consumption, have them traced ecologically, and the company is responsible for introducing a report stating precisely the ecological impact. It's already been done, and I've heard on French radio, and this is what gave me the idea. It's been, this is not rocket science, it's already in operation. And then, of course, judicial remedies, as we've heard. So basically, new branch of law on ecology and ecosystems, recognising the rights in nature and duties of humans, building on existing law concepts and approaches by adapting, conferring legal personality on ecosystems, as done, for example, in New Zealand with one of the river systems. But we need a balance. We need the balance of the interest between the different beings with the humans. We have to include human rights law, and we also have to be aware of the impact on all the other branches. We will need guardians and representatives who have a responsibility to act and defend the relevant interests. I think there's a dimension in every legal order and system, and in substantive and procedural law, and we're recognising interrelationships, ecosystems, ecology, and more. And lastly, I have just two things to add, and that is, we have in the EU something we call gender mainstreaming, which proved very difficult to translate into some other languages, like Spanish. Why not nature mainstreaming? This is so as I can give our Spanish friends some entertainment. And also, why not have a slogan? And here I'm thinking about Chinese friends who are very strong in slogans. Law means you and me as part of nature. And my only regret is my little image of a robin, Scottish robin, lovely red dress, looking, I can't show you. But you see him on the website, I'm sure. Thank you very much.